Welcome back, our lovely salties. On today's episode, ding dong, summer's on, and Memorial Day weekend is over, but we are in our summer era. On our Saltbox topic, Airbnb's on the phone, and she has entered the Madeira Beach arena. And of course, we'll wrap up with everyone's favorite, our beach's tide check. So grab your favorite drink and get ready to get a little salty with us.
Okay, we have entered in our summer era.
Yes, we have. Even though
summer era.
We're both wearing black today. I was gonna say,
we are. I mean,
you have short sleeves on. Okay, there we go.
I do. I do because it's just the way it is. So summer era.
Yes.
With my girl Caitlin.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good summer.
We're gonna have a good summer. It's gonna be a good summer.
Especially
we got a good summer going. So speaking of era. T Swift was at the Cavs game the other day.
Oh, really? Why?
Yes. Cavs Knicks game, the basketball. She said courtside because her, fiance is from Cleveland.
Of course.
So the Cleveland Cavaliers were in the Eastern Finals against the Knicks. And so that's pretty fun. So she made it courtside.
You can borrow her. We'll share custody in Kansas City and Cleveland, I guess.
Yes.
So, yeah, that makes sense. So
yeah, she was in her Cavs era. We're in our summer era. I'm ready for summer. Memorial Day is our official kickoff.
I know.
Our summer all the time.
Yep. As of today.
And it was a weird one because it's early this year. I mean, it's just early. We have a whole other weekend. And
it was very weird.
May.
So we're recording on Tuesday, May 26th, and Memorial Day was yesterday. So we went through the weekend. But it's so odd when it falls on the 24th, the 24th, the 25th, or the 26th, because it's just so freaking early. But it just threw everything for a loop. Everyone seemed to be much more prepared than we were. What are you doing? What are your plans? And I'm like, we plan things? Ugh.
Yeah. We didn't have any plans. We didn't do anything. We just rented jet skis all weekend. That's what we did. But
we made some money.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Made some money. Yeah. Had some fun with some people.
Good.
We had dance parties going on. It was cool. We had a good vibe all weekend, so I can't complain about that. So that was nice.
Shout out to Pam and Ann. They had a pool party over at their house in Crystal Island.
Oh, I thought they were on a cruise. I saw that on Facebook.
That's so funny. So I actually have the story. They're going to be so pleased that we're talking about this. So
I saw that. I was like, look at them going and living their best life.
They literally got back the day before. So it was a last minute decision. They ran into another couple that they're friends with through the Elks Club. The other couple was mentioning, hey, you guys have been on that Margaritaville cruise. We're getting ready to go. We're leaving. I think it was like literally tomorrow or the next day. And they're like, yeah, that's a great. Oh, you guys should come. You know what? I think we could make that work. And so,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, let's
go. To be able to live that free.
Retired life. Let's go.
I would be like, I don't even know. I might have 30 minutes to drive you to the cruise ship, but
wave you off, right?
I am not. That is retirement era, and I am looking forward to it.
I can't wait. I was gonna say,
if I can go on cruises when I'm retired, because they travel all the time. So
let me ask you this, because it got brought up at the party. Trent and I have never been on a cruise. Have you ever been on a cruise?
No. Well, like when I was in like 8th grade, I went with my parents to the Bahamas, if that counts.
It counts.
It counts. I mean, we went. I mean, it was like. I mean, it wasn't even in the same century, so I don't know if I counted. It's a totally different cruise now.
Key West in 8th grade, and I counted.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. I mean, no, I haven't. But my oldest son has been on 2 cruises because my children lived their best life. And the only cruise, my husband is not a fan of them.
The thought of them, or has Michael actually been on one?
The thought of it, and I like the idea of it. But I will tell you the one that he said maybe we'll do that one day is the Mediterranean cruise, because it starts in Barcelona and circles all the way around to like all the greatest places you would want to go.
Yeah, we'll take
that
him on
one. He would probably want to do.
We'll take him on the classy party bus around the Mediterranean first.
Then
we'll put him on the party boat with the drunkens.
That's right.
That's right. Here, you're fine.
Yes. Oh, when did Cooper get here?
Cooper's here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But so
Oh
you
man.
haven't either?
No, I've never been on a cruise, which is ironic because actually in another life, I worked at a travel agency that specialized in cruises. So I actually, back in 2007, I was well versed in any and all cruise lines and
Oh
any and
my
all
God.
military discounts.
But
And
and you probably were offered them at like the
no,
most discount. Oh,
I,
how
no,
come?
so not
You
yet.
did
So
not get that perk.
no, because it turns out the two menfolk that worked for that business were asshats. And there was I
Shocker.
was only 21. You know, we can say I was an adult and I should have been adulting, but at the same time, I was 21. I was a child.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're still a
Yeah.
child. You're still developing the lobe or whatever. And it's like,
Right.
I didn't have enough real world experience to sniff out right away that this was a total waste of my time
Yeah.
in the job arena. I just thought I had landed myself a travel administrative position. So,
Yes.
yeah, no, that's not going to happen. But no, I've never been. But I'll tell you what, I'm with Michael. I'm not so much about the Mediterranean Sea cruises as I have had an affinity for the Viking River cruises ever
Oh
since.
yeah, my aunt does that actually.
Yep. My
Yeah, she
landlord
loves
does.
them
She's
because
been on
they
so
go
many of
off the beaten path.
them. Yep.
They're a little bit more about history.
Well, and I hate to say it, but there's no children.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but like,
Nope,
yeah,
that's fine.
I'm good
I
with
get
that.
that.
And
Yeah,
that might
I get
be,
that.
we need to look into like the virgin ones which are all adult, I think, too. Which I'm sorry. I'm not trying to sound like the
No,
wicked
you
witch,
don't want them
you
jumping
know.
in the pool next to you. I mean, and there's some cruise lines that are a little bit more, they're just catered a little bit more to
I realize
the
I've seen the commercial where they have the, Willy Wonka shoot where you put the kid down the slide and they go into the
yes,
kid zone all day and then mom and dad get to still have a good
yes.
time,
That's
apparently.
like the pirate ship in John's Pass.
Do they have
Kiddies,
one?
come back in the corner so mom and dad can drink up front.
No, that's how they ran their ship. I like it.
That's what I've heard. I haven't personally done it, but that's what I've
Well,
heard from some of the
borrow a child
customers.
and get on there and see what's up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, good for them. I'm glad they got to go on that cruise. That sounds amazing.
no,
And
you and I have some planning to do later, but yeah, we'll get on our cruise era later.
yeah.
Memorial Day, it's so weird because it never fails, and we can get off this topic, but I didn't attack them, okay? But I saw it every year. Where's the fireworks?
Oh,
And it is like piranhas just descending upon that one comment of how Memorial Day is not about, and that any place firing off fireworks, it's not respectful. Like, that is not what this day is for. This is not what this reason is for. It it's it's not funny, but it is funny to me because it's like,
people just don't know what the holiday stands for then.
no, but apparently there's no less than 57 people waiting in the wings with their keyboard, like, ha, ha, and then they just,
Yeah.
and they rip these people
I
apart.
know. Find something else to do, for God's sakes.
Well,
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. You get all your information on Facebook. That's true. Forgot that it was church to people.
exactly.
No
And
wonder people stop going. That would be an interesting study. What has been the church decline since Facebook came out in what, 2009, 2008?
yeah, because
Because
the
people act like
rise,
it's freaking church.
well, they keep talking about the rise in either non-denominational or atheist, what's it called,
Yeah.
association.
Yes.
Like, ask people, like, what do you associate as, and it's like Christian, Judaism, Muslim, all the things. And the non-denominational or atheist actually has been just exploding.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Me neither.
Yeah, I mean, they worship at the altar of Joe Rogan. I mean, who's to say, right?
Not me.
No, he
Not
cracks
me.
me up occasionally, but no, thank you. So yeah, Memorial Day is done, guys. So we are in the precious summer. Let's remember that even though we've been sweating down here for months, there's poor people back home where their frost line's finally giving up in life.
I know. And some of them had the most horrific Memorial Day weekend where it was just bad
Oh my
weather the
God.
whole time.
I heard the
It just,
weather.
sometimes there are some times that I don't forget how much this weather is just like, I mean, if you took a scissor at the top of Florida,
Yeah,
not the panhandle, we don't need them, the top of Florida, and
it's our
like
side card
pushed
of
us
tequila.
down. Yeah, that's just south of Alabama. Just call that South Alabama. South Mississippi, South Alabama, little shot of Texas.
Our Panhandle peeps are going to come out of the woodwork on this one. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Problem is, you people still have
cut
winter
it,
up
and
there.
it's unbelievable.
You're
It's
not
always
real Florida because you still have winter in our minds. We look up at the map
do.
when Dennis Phillips shows us
do have
you
winter.
guys are 36 when we are 48. You know?
Yeah, you do have winter still.
Yeah, don't lie.
But it's just amazing to me. I don't forget how much it still amazes me sometimes when I look at like the national weather that I'm like, gosh, Florida just does follow zero rules. I mean, in so many different ways we don't, but zero rules. So when it comes to weather. But yeah.
I heard we have a chance of rain every day, and we went through the drought, so I know we need it. And but yeah,
it's El Nino. That's what happens, right?
I have a car to sell, and I cannot figure out when to wash it because I have nowhere to put it back inside. And
probably
it's going to rain
because it's black.
It is, yeah. So, good listeners, before we completely move on to our Saltbox topic, because I feel like we're going to get very far into that one, we can definitely gnaw on that for a while. Fiance Trent bought a new car not last week, the week before. He got himself new Corvette. So we have a Stingray Corvette at the house now. Keep in mind, I have 3 cars currently and 2 parking spots that belong to me. So there's been a lot of asks from our neighbors, which luckily our neighbors are fantastic. A lot of them aren't here full time.
I'm going to send Jamal after you.
Who's Jamal? The parking
He's the one that runs the parking enforcement in Madeira Beach. He's the nicest guy in the world.
I've already made arrangements with them. It's like hidden. And of course, here's the problem. My Rogue has to go. So I'm inheriting Trent's car, his Cadillac Escalade. He keeps the Corvette.
Has to go.
My Rogue's got to go.
Has to go.
And God bless her, she's been a good little car. So at the same time, it's just, sorry, you're the short straw. You're out.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't have anywhere to put her, but at the same time, guess whose car has found their way into the neighbor's carport? And also his car, of course, is under our carport. So my Rogue is still left out to the elements of Freedom, Florida.
Freedom, Florida.
And rain and all the fun things. So I need to find a window where I can get her scrubbed up, keep her spotless, take a bunch of photos, and then call it a day. And you know what I mean? So very excited. But if anybody would
looking for a Rogue.
Yeah, 2015 Nissan Rogue SL, 104,000 miles. I bought it in December of 17. She has all the bells and whistles.
You should just put it on Marketplace. I'm telling you, just take a couple of pictures.
No, we won't. We're going to. I'm going to have to try to do it though, because I don't deal with the general public in Marketplace.
Yeah, that's fine. We're going to sell it through the podcast anyway.
There's like one time back in like 2010, and Trent will be like, "No, you didn't." I'll be like, "Yes, I did. I tried.
Maybe I did
it by myself." And then I finally said, "They're weird.
I'm not doing it.
Weird."
Yeah.
So it's like taking your car into the mechanic, and he's still that sexist freaking guy that like tries to give you the runaround because you have lady parts.
Yes.
And it's like that on steroids on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. Welcome to Florida.
Problem is, it's some creepy guy from Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. Gary.
Send me another
history with us.
Yeah. Send me a picture of her ass. What?
No, we're talking about a Rogue.
Sir, right?
Oh.
I'm going to send him Trent's ass.
Perfect. That'll sell it.
All right, guys. So Saltbox topic of the week.
This is a crazy one.
You know how we want to frame this.
Okay. So let's see if we can frame it this way.
Let's go.
Short-term rental, by definition, is like 3 months or less, right?
Correct.
Yes. So, but Airbnbs changed the game of that. And so Airbnbs became nightly, weekly, whatever, 2 weeks, whatever. And we're talking more single family home or duplexes at this point, because all the condos have their own HOA fee rules. So they have to abide by that. So the city government manages the zoning of all the single family homes and how they can be used.
The residential areas, correct.
Yeah, the residential areas and how they can be used. So we have heard all throughout this, course of time. IRB, Indian Rocks Beach, is zoned for Airbnbs. In 21, 22, Airbnbs kind of leaked over to the Largo Seminole area, which is just basically west and or east and north, east and south of where IRB is. And you can go into certain areas there that says like, don't Airbnb our area, don't short term our area. But because of the hurricane and the fact that like some of the homes, people just like said like abort, 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 and like just give me any money that I can because I can't do this and I don't want to deal with it. We had a lot of investors that came in and scooped up a lot of homes. So it has been always rumored in Madeira Beach, there hasn't been a strong presence of, I guess I would say, park management, of who's actually in charge of. It's the county, right, that is in charge, and it's the local government to govern whether or not single family home and duplexes can Airbnb. Because currently, as of right now, the way that the short-term rental plan reads, there's a couple of streets and there's like no more than 10 houses that have been grandfathered in to being able to Airbnb. Now that list is
outside of the allowed zoning areas.
Outside of the allowed zoning. So there's a 3-month zoning, and then there's like a 6-month zoning, and then there's an annual zoning all throughout Madeira Beach. Now, I'll say that, as someone that rents to people that are vacationing in Madeira Beach,
right?
It is kind of the Wild West. I know that because now I mean, over the last couple of years, I've gotten to know where the streets are, and I'm like, yeah, that ain't allowed. Yeah, that ain't allowed there. Right? Yeah, that ain't allowed there.
There's no way.
I'm not a rat, so I'm not going to tell anyone. We got enough rats in the area. I'm not a rat. So
if you listen to this podcast, you would know that we're able to go in there and ask.
Yes, hypothetically.
If say this street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's say, can I see the list? So, yeah. So, but interestingly enough, so Caitlin and I have been working with a couple of people over the course of the last 6 weeks, let's say, maybe a little bit longer, where it's become like kind of a topic of conversation you and I have had about like, what does that really look like in Madeira Beach? As I'm not a resident of Madeira Beach and you are, but I have a business in Madeira Beach. And so my viewpoint would be potentially different than someone that resides in Madeira Beach. And I respect that. And I you know what? My business is managed the way it has for as long as it has. I'm not trying to rock the boat. I'm just trying to put in my perspective. But so what has entered the arena, as we like mentioned and teased before, is that there is a petition and or applications for specific homes located in Madeira Beach that are trying to do it the legal way. I mean, you've got to commend them. They're trying to do it the legal way. And they're like, I would like my home to be a short-term rental and being able to be Airbnb'd at a week or 2 weeks or whatever they prefer. But interestingly enough.
Yeah, but the application that Stephanie's referring to is to actually create a type of zoning category that does not currently exist in our playbook, if you will.
So as the lawyer was scratching through with this application, well, sure, I'll submit the application for you. Then the city acknowledged and said, you can't submit an application to a zoning that doesn't exist.
To apply to become something that's not real, right?
Yeah.
I would like to be a pony. Okay.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So it's where Madeira Beach has entered the arena is that they're going to start getting public input on what that even actually looks like. And basically what they're trying to do is establish a Division 6 is what it's called, I guess, low density vacation rental, because it doesn't exist in our planning and developing or, in our ordinances or whatever it may be. So that has to happen first before there can even be
the allowance to slide
the application to go in.
Exactly.
So I, first of all, commend the people that are trying to do it legally. They have a lawyer. They're not trying to get in trouble. Whereas, the fine, some people, it's a $250 fine if you get caught having an Airbnb per night. And the reason that you would get caught is if I guess if we have someone savvy enough to understand the way Airbnb works, because they don't always disclose the neighborhood or the address.
No.
Or you have a neighbor that doesn't like what's going on over there.
Legally Airbnb.
Yeah.
It's living on the beaches is interesting. And let me just preface this. I want to be complete transparency with what I'm about to say, because some of it's going to contain my own personal opinion.
Sure.
So I have lived in Madeira Beach now full time for 5 years.
Yeah.
We do not own property. We are annual tenants. Okay.
You're always actively looking.
And then he goes and buys a Corvette. Straight from the house fund, whatever. Love you. So we're always looking. I drive through your neighborhood way more often than you know, and I don't want to bother you or seem weird, but it's literally just a check for sale by owners. Okay. So anytime we're over there, I'm like, let's just drive through. And he's like, and he does. So, I mean, that's like, he's complacent, right? He's compliant and complacent in this drive. So nobody's against their will. Anyway, so I've lived in Madeira Beach. I am a tenant. And I say this that way because for some reason, we are occasionally treated by people as second-class citizens in residency versus property owners, which, as the fact of this is the first time that Trent and or I have not owned the property in which we are living in about 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's, and again, there's nothing wrong with people that rent their entire lives. Obviously, in real estate, Stephanie and I want to talk to you and maybe talk through some things.
Yeah.
But ultimately, that is your choice. And I'm not knocking people that rent forever or have rented forever or will continue to rent forever. But it is something that's outside of our personal wheelhouse. We are in a position where we are very happy. It's a duplex. We're the very first people to ever rent in it since 1969. The woman that lives in the duplex next to us, she is our second mom. We are family that is familia at this point.
Yeah.
And she wants to continue to pass down this property to her heirs as it has continued to do so to her since 69. My street is right behind John's Pass, which is a tourist district. Okay.
Yes.
However, at the end of John's Pass, it immediately starts on my street of a 3-month minimum rental.
Yeah.
So my hesitation is that being in real estate and also being a part of a company and a brokerage that does a lot of new builder projects, which are strategically built and placed and purchased in the already zoned appropriate areas to be an Airbnb.
Yeah, to maximize the profitability.
And what gets my
ultimately, that's what it is.
You have people that come in and it's a changing of the guard and you know exactly what it is that you were sold and you want to change it all.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand that. However, that takes a different type of depersonality mind than my brain will allow it. I'm like, that's not the rule. Who do you think you are? You just come in here and you start changing things to the back of the line. But that to me is where I personally need to grow in becoming more
sure.
Well, let's talk about it. And so again, and in real estate too, I'm kind of a double-edged sword with that because personally, I don't want to see the expansion of the Airbnbs back into our bedroom communities and what a lot of the residents in Madeira Beach pride themselves on not being Indian Rocks Beach.
Yeah.
And what is not as well known, that it is completely Wild Wild West all the way back to the Intracoastal on any and everything that you could ever buy is Reddington Beach. And people don't know that is right next to us.
Yeah, it's just, it shares a zip code.
It does share a zip code.
I mean,
and so it's
right there.
it's been coming, it's been knocking on the door, and there's been other townships that we can say they changed accordingly because they realized the benefit for their town's economy. Or maybe they folded like a brown paper bag because they had so many investors show up to the public hearing and none of the actual full-time residences did that were naysayers.
What
So
happens?
what
That
we're
does
getting
happen.
at is that it's very important people to pay attention to city events and specifically commission hearings, public hearings, workshop meetings, things like that, because this is where this gets its start. And again, freedom Florida, keep Florida free, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
I know that it's been a big thing for Governor DeSantis to stand on, to say a property owner should have the right to do with their property what they want to do with it.
Yeah.
And that's great. But let's look at our affinity for deed restrictions communities. It's because things look nice. Okay.
Yes.
It's because things look nice when everything goes the regular rigmarole. Now, it's appropriate to have these public hearings and call to action and all the things and do it the right way. And I'm all about democracy. Contrary to popular belief in the political arena of our national politics in the last 10 years, I do truly believe in the process of democracy.
Yes.
So if the majority of the people want this, fine. And the thing is that I do agree in the real estate profession industry that there are certain places in our town that it would make sense.
It would. I know.
A hurricane. Yeah. And so I know there's a few streets here, that are closer to what I would call the north end of town. And they sit right behind the already restaurants, bars, things like that, beach accesses. And they are lower density, meaning that they're not sixplexes, quadplexes, apartment buildings. We're talking duplexes, maybe triplex, single family home. So
they're on the same street as some of those apartments.
And they're on the same street as some of those. So my thing is that it makes me nervous
hotels.
That the one owner has kind of broken the ice here by hiring the attorney, which, trust me, that attorney is like, be right there, because they get to charge by the hour, people. So something that doesn't even exist. How many freaking hours do you think that attorney is going to get to wet dream? Got it? Okay. And again, it's not that I don't trust lawyers, but I sound like such a naysayer. But it's like, of course he took that case. Yeah,
that's right.
He's going to get paid the whole time trying to let you make it to where you can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
What I'm going to get off my crazy train about is that there are areas that I think that it's worth looking into. However, what is the Pandora's box that I'm afraid of opening is that if we start doing these one-offs properties, how does that work? And that I feel like will take so long to kind of trickle down the economics, if you will, from letting these one-off ones happen. We should do this where we look at the actual neighborhoods and maybe do a foul swoop. Meaning, like, for example, if we're looking at 147, 48, 40, or 46, 47, 45th, 145th, coming east from Gulf Boulevard, maybe all the way back to Bayshore. Thoughts, right?
No, I think that that's exactly right. Is that
But you have to remember that there's people that bought purposely to not be in these areas. They want the bedroom community. They want to live there full time. They don't want to deal with Susan's divorce party. If I have one more piece of baby girl confetti come over my fence because Janet's having another baby by her third baby daddy, I'm going to lose my mind because they don't, and it says that studies have been done, there's no trash, there's no increase in police calls, there's no, studies have been done to show that it's not what we call this free-for-all of Sodom and Gomorrah if you open it up to Airbnb. But it can get there quickly. And obviously that's probably going to be one bad off guest that's going to get a 1-star review back on their guest profile on Airbnb, right? But at the end of the day, I'm cleaning up confetti from the waterway. So I think it has to do with the expectations of the property owners, the respect of the existing property owners, and the fact that the property owners need to stop bitching behind their keyboards and actually get out here to these public hearings and these commission meetings and these workshops and let it be known. Because when it comes down to fight night, a lot of the times these fighters don't show up.
No, or it'll happen after the matter, right?
Oh yeah.
That's when it all surfaces. What just happened? And we don't have some secret website that we look at to find out what's
No.
going on in the city. We just
Yes.
look at it ahead of time, and you can
Yes.
be emailed every Saturday morning is when the email comes out to let you know when what's going on for the next week. But
Look at me. I'm
yeah,
so flustered. I'm
I think
so
it'll be
flustered.
interesting to
Look
see.
what I did. Look what I did.
Oh,
I just literally grabbed this. Yep. Spoiler alert. That's
yeah,
what's in the
spoiler.
cup.
That's what's
Yeah.
in the cup. That's what's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's in it. Yeah,
But
I think that it'll be interesting to see because you and I had, like I said earlier, two different kind of situations that were going on
yeah,
that it brought the conversation alive for us. And you and I had some really good conversation about what, if we were writing the rules, what areas we thought would
yeah,
make sense.
it
I mean,
makes sense.
that makes sense. And if you happen to live on that area, I have to tell you from an investment standpoint, your property value probably just went up. So don't worry about that.
Don't knock it till you try it. Right.
Yeah. So that piece of it, and then we also, and then we've both heard opposing views. Like I get it. Like I get it. You want it. You want to live in this beach community,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to live in this beach community that thrives and grows, and you can raise your family here and you can be a part of and
But let's
celebrate with.
remember who pays our taxes. The tourists do. I get it. I get it. I get it. And at the end of the day, let's also not act like if we're just looking at Madeira Beach, it's pretty much Gulf Boulevard. That
It
is the
is.
only permissive place. And then that is majorly condominiums. And like you
Yes.
said, the condo
And the
associations have the
HOAs.
right
Yep.
to
That's right.
dictate. And a lot of them are 2 weeks or more.
Yeah. And
And
I mean, I growing up, did you ever go on vacation 2 weeks or more? I mean, as a business owner, so now I'll say my business owner perspective. I mean, as a business owner in Madeira Beach, I do not reside in Madeira Beach. I love Madeira Beach, but I don't reside in Madeira Beach. I I I'm okay with it.
yeah,
Do I want like Crystal Island to become an Airbnb? No, no, come on. I don't want these mega $1 million homes to become Airbnbs. That's so Reddington. I don't want that. That's not Madeira Beach. Like that's not Madeira Beach. I don't want that. I mean, I think that there's areas in North Bay Shore. There's, you think about, you know, Parsley, like there's, different Pruitt, like you could think of all these different areas that I'm like, no, that should not happen there. But then you think about the ones that are just slowly, the little arteries
yes,
that are right off of Gulf Boulevard. Some
yes,
of them are already apartments.
I
I'm
know.
not buying a house there and raising my
No,
family next to an
no,
apartment.
no, you're
I'm never
not. You're
doing
right.
that.
You're right. And
And
I,
those people, I mean, I want them to come in. I want new guests to come in every week and rent jet skis. Yeah, I'm a business owner. So be it. I think, and we want them to patron, Dockside Dave's, the Green Room, the Reef, whatever happens at Coastal Taco, with the smoke shop. Like we want them, up and down, Lucky Lizard. We
mhm.
want them to be up and down, like all that area.
And I agree with that. And I realize too, I'm not trying to be that negative Nancy resident. I think that there is room for growth regarding the short term rental capacity and capability within our town. If you just look at Madeira Beach. Um, oh God, we were just sorry, I just had a thought. You were just saying, like, I would
Yeah,
love
I mean,
that.
I just think those are not the people that are coming in and renting for a year or 3 months. 3 months,
Right,
maybe
right, right.
not so much, but they're working while they're
They're
here.
working. Yeah, no, we're working. Yeah. Um, oh God,
So
there
I
was
don't know. I mean, but again, like you said earlier, I don't, you got to have an opinion if you live in this town because, things are going to just keep happening and you're not going to be happy about it. And you're just going to go
I know
mouth
there.
off on Facebook. And
Yes.
obviously, as have you seen over the course of the last month, it's not getting you anywhere, people.
No.
Guess what? It's not getting you anywhere. Show up at the meetings. That's how you get somewhere.
Yes. God, man, it's just like the never ending story that
Yeah.
never comes to a head because the other side refuses to come to the meetings.
Yes.
And it's so frustrating
They
because
come to the
that's
keyboard, not the
how we don't
meeting.
get anything done. I find it ironic, and this might be my conspiracy theory brain of being like, why are you even bothering now? Because what we know is how many hotel rooms are about to come to this town in the next 2 to 3 years. Do we need to think about short terming residential areas when we are going to have no less than, let me think about this, 161, 120, 40,
87, yeah.
over 300 brand new rooms
Yeah, I
with
mean,
brand new floods
it's
that
not
will
going
be
to negatively impact me. I mean, from a business owner, I'll also say this too, is that it's not going to
well,
negatively impact me if you
no,
don't change your rules.
right. I just feel as though, again,
We
when
want this to become an epicenter, right? Like
yeah,
Madeira Beach has like really big plans, like not to become Clearwater, but to keep it the coastal vibe and really provide great places for your family to go to. And people need places to stay.
yes. And it's like we think about the fact that the Hurricane Helene finished the schooner off. How
Yeah.
many rooms did that have where you had people for decades
Yeah.
back, year after year after year? And like you said, good point. We're doing Saturday to Saturday.
Yeah.
That's the 1 week Indiana, Missouri vacation that we're
Yeah.
rubbing two nickels together to bring our family down to do.
Yeah, and I firmly believe that's exactly. I never went on a 2 week vacation when I was growing up. Never did. But never did. Are you kidding me?
Whose rich
That's got to
aunt
get
were
back to
you
work.
visiting?
I
Right.
know, never did. But that and whether we like it or not, Helene cleansed everyone.
Did.
And
Yep.
between COVID and then Helene happening, people couldn't even stand their own four walls, let alone going to a hotel that you just spent a hotel, motel, condo, whatever you want it to be. You just spent your whole year saving to go to this place. You don't want it to look like Aunt Janet's condo from the 1960s. Like, I'm sorry, but no one wants that. I had some customers that were in a couple, I don't know, this weekend was a blur at some point over the weekend. And they're like, we just stay over. They're very, very nice. They're very, very sweet. They're from Indiana. Like, we just stay across the way, to be named nameless, where they were staying across from John's Pass. And I was like, oh, and I truly was not familiar with it. I truly wasn't.
Is this the
And
one that's
because
the red color?
I don't know,
Is that
because
the
I was
name?
like, I really haven't been in every place, but I think that the conversation steered that they might have thought that I was really knowledgeable about the area, and so that I knew what kind of place they were staying in. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. The location's fantastic. And they're like, that's about all there was. I was like, oh. And they're like, yeah, it needs some updating. I was like, oh, it's a bring your own sheets type of place. And they're like, yes.
Rubber sheets.
Can we get the cleaners here while we're checking in, please?
But you know what we should do? We should just literally throw our bags and a bug bomb in and then shut the door and go to dinner. And come back in 6 hours.
So funny. It was so funny. But I mean, that's just exactly it. So it's interesting that the conversation has entered the arena. We always just thought it was like people were
interesting that it's one property owner that is just like David and Goliath.
The email that I received had like 9.
Oh,
there was one that's starting it.
So it's like a class action.
Yeah. I mean, loosely, I guess we could call that, but.
Well, I'm just using it in reference of like, there's one person, whistleblower number 1, but then there's like 9 of them behind them.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Are they all on the same street?
I think it's a couple of streets.
Interesting. Because again, there's a way to do this. And, obviously there's going to have to be, in my opinion, we could do all the public hearings we want, but it's like, again, I'm a rule follower. Why does this exist to begin with? There's got to be a reason. And so we need to look at what studies were done to determine where these lines were drawn originally, and have the studies reperformed with, like you said, the changing of the landscape since COVID and hurricanes and everything. And are those study findings still relevant? Are they still applicable? Or could it be reapproached because this and this and this have changed. And so I'm not trying to, take your freedom, but it's just like, I promise you, I don't want to fly in your Chardonnay. And I promise these people that, again, freedom. But at the same time, I'm just like, then why didn't you go buy in Reddington? Why didn't you go buy an IRB? Why didn't you go buy on a street that you can do that on?
Well, I guess I can answer two of them is that they didn't buy it, they inherited it, and now are really like, well, if I'm going to spend all this money, that I didn't buy it, I now have to put it back together according to you. According to Madeira Beach, I now have to put this back together. Well, and if I'm going to spend,
either rebuild something or put it back together. Yeah.
And if I'm going to spend 100 G's to put this back together, I want to do everything I can to capitalize on the money because I don't live there. I never have. Those are
the people with the time to do this, because you have people that they can't. They have to make the money now, or they got to sell it now.
I mean, the one of the ones that I'm thinking about, I mean, they didn't have the means to do it, and they just had to spend the last 2 years hustling everything they could, including renting out their own home.
Wow.
While they went and lived somewhere else with a friend. Yeah. So that they could put this home back together because Madeira Beach wanted them to do so. And now I'm spending 100 G's. How do I maximize those 100 G's? I don't blame them. You're going to get $1,200 a month in rent, maybe $1,800 for a studio, maybe $1,800 a month in rent for a 1-bedroom, when you could be making like $500 a week. Yeah. Are you kidding me? I don't blame them.
I'll tell you what else is going to be brought up in public comment, because I've heard it from people that this is coming. So it's ironic, with the future hotel rooms that we have coming in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
But it's ironic because there's another grassroots movement that has started, and it is to increase the severity of being busted doing this illegal short-term
because it's $250 really enough.
Well, because right now you have so many places that are just disregarding it and doing what they want and whatever,
let's say you have a 4-6 bedroom house that you're renting out, and you're renting it out because you and all your buddies are going to stay there, and you're renting it for $700 a night for the weekend. Mm-hmm. Okay, find me $250. That really hurts.
That's what I'm saying. It's overhead costs. So they're considering it part of like cleaning costs, turnover, whatever, permits, this, that, electric bill, utilities, and the liens.
Yes.
That's just it's just on the property management gross net income account summary every month. So I am also a big proponent in the fact of, again, the developers, the investors, the business owners that have come here and done it the right way. And I'm not saying not cause to stink, okay? Cause your stink. But do not come in here and just decide to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And not pay what is owed to our city. I'm sorry, but it's just like, that's not okay. And so these fines have to have more teeth. Okay?
Yes, they do.
And so there's been, again, these are all going to be public hearings. These are going to be workshop discussions. This is going to be board of commissions. Like, attend the meetings, people.
Yes. You want a voice, attend them.
Exactly. But guys, I've heard rumors of like $5,000 first time. And every day, $10,000.
Yeah, I think that has to go through a Florida statute, from what I heard.
Of course it does.
Yeah, that will take a long time for it to happen.
It will take a long time, but it'll be ironic because that got brought up in public comment like 2 meetings ago. So the fact that this lawyer in this class action group, we're going to call them, have also now come to the public hearing or public comment arena. It's ironic because only people like you and me and other people that tune into everyone, and obviously the commissioners and the city staff, I wonder, there's got to be other people that are like, you guys catching this? Are you catching that we're actually getting grassroots movement here pro and grassroots movement here con? Like, I find that very ironic.
Yeah.
And also, we'll see where it all lands, because this will not be a fast process like we were just discussing.
Nope.
Either one way or another.
Nope,
and we'll
not
see
when it's
how many
government.
hotel rooms are already functioning when it comes time. So,
yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, it's an interesting perspective and conversation, and you hear her first.
I think so.
I think so. Mm-hmm. So, okay, what is tide check?
Tide
On to the
check.
tide check.
Tide check. So, we are in our summer slowdown, but there are a few events that we wanted to make sure to mention to you good people. This Friday, which I told no less than 5 to 6 people last Friday, oh, it's Village Friday. It's Village Friday tonight. Yeah, you should come to Village Friday tonight.
Well, because it sounded like it made sense because of
I told a poor woman that was flying in from Massachusetts that very day that it was Village Friday.
Yeah.
And she was changing her entire evening plans to come to this. So I text her when I have my epiphany, and she's obviously still on the plane. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I feel awful. So this Friday, May 29th, 6 to 9.
She had it down to downtown St. Pete and she forgot it all. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I saw her on Saturday. I apologize profusely. I had to show her a property, and I was like, so sorry about that. Will you be in town next Friday?
Yes.
No, she will not be. Sorry. So Village Friday, guys, this is going to be in Johns Pass. Of course, they always shut down the street. It's always a good time put on by our Parks and Rec department. Free concert, sponsored by Caddies and Sud Pubs. So, and then of course, I feel like a lot of the bars have stepped up with their drink specials.
Yeah, so I know. And Delos's is offering a free piece of pizza.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's what I heard. That's one of the things they're offering, free piece of pizza. Yep, which is nice.
You're welcome, Madeira. I was gonna say that is some of the best pizza. You better go get yourself a slice. Shout out to the Tipsy Tiki. They are also going to be having live music and drink specials. Pirates Pub, Scully's, Friendly Fisherman, and of course Bamboo. They have live music every day, twice a day. But they will also have their stage out and their drink specials flowing. Shout out to Sean at the Bamboo. And then actually, to tell you the truth, I don't have anything on the calendar then until the following weekend.
Yeah, not till the following weekend. That's right.
Yeah, which will be in June. Yay!
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing to mention is that one of the things that I think is interesting, as there's obviously been a grassroots movement to address the whole Tom and Kitty Stewart Park, right?
Yes,
and yes, I mean, there's a lot of conversation on social media about putting the park back together. No one's stolen it as of yet. I mean, nothing is put back together. So as far as I'm concerned, no one has stolen it. To say that we want our park back, nothing's been done yet with it. So, but one of the things that they have at the Board of Commissions meeting is the approval of the money that will be necessary to put the seawall back together, as that was destroyed during the hurricane. So that's a huge piece.
For the destruction. I'm clapping for the reinstallation of the seawall, because you and I drive Gulf Boulevard all the time. Day. How much sand comes through that right now?
We've done a whole episode on the amount of sand that came through. I mean, we literally did a whole episode because we were like, I cannot believe how much sand just came through.
Yes.
When we had that, I guess it was Ida or something, and the development that is just south of it was still in the process of building their seawall and had a massive issue that created, but it dumped it, no matter what, it dumped sand and, in the park too, as well. And so as of right now, Tom and Stewart Kitty Park only have basically access to safely go around through Caddies as a one-way, which was an easement given forever ago. And then they have 4 parking spots, which someone spoke up at one of the meetings and was awarded those 4 parking spots to only residents of Madeira Beach. So that's fantastic. But other than that,
that's a new fact for me. Sorry to cut you off there. I know we talked about this pre-recording, but I don't think I mentioned this. That was new to me.
Yes.
That those 4 spots that are open are to residents only.
Well, because what was happening is that they were the workers from the property that's still being built south of it. So they were parking there all the time. The residents were not wrong that it looked like it was a parking lot for the building south of it. And so they instantly the Madeira Beach had those signs up saying resident parking only, and Jamal and his team go through and ticket frequently for anyone that thinks that they can just park there. So they got that taken care of. But up until now, yes, it does still look like a sandy parking lot at this
But
point.
right now, it's like any type of like Gulf Western wind, and we have our afternoon, evening storms right now, which thank God for the rain. We desperately need it. But I feel like there's been multiple windy days where I drive by that area, and it's the Sahara.
Yeah,
it is literally just coming off the beach still through the parking lot onto Gulf Boulevard.
Yeah.
And I think about, the motorcyclists and the bicyclists where it's like you cut your grass clippings into the street. That's slippery. It can be slippery, can it? I mean, am I just that blonde that doesn't realize that like salt is actually helpful, little girl? Shut the fuck up.
I think that's right. And I just think that anything that government has to touch just takes longer than what
Let's get that
if it wasn't.
all back in there. Let's get that sand to stay where it belongs on the beach, right? And let's get our parking spots back, guys. And then we can talk about all the beautification ideas that we have for the area of that park.
Yeah.
But she's right. That important topic is going to be brought up at the workshop meeting because we read the agenda. Good people.
Yeah.
So if you want to know what's actually happened, Stephanie and I have talked about this, and shout out to our friends at the city. We would love for them to put up a ticker sign and say, this is the next step. This is going to be completed on this, or just coming soon, or some kind of
or
drawing,
acknowledgement to the history of the park.
Because it's not happening. And I'm sorry that it's not happening fast enough for some of you.
Yeah.
But it's like, I
think that once we get the renderings, everyone will feel a little bit better about, and then if not, then things can get moved. So we'll see. But I thought
then we can really have our war. Yeah, then we can actually have the war.
There's not really a war to be had quite yet. I feel like I don't disagree with being upset that it's not put back together. I mean, I took the county forever, and they still haven't put back together the county park across from Speedway. I mean, let's talk about. I mean, it just when it's government, it takes.
Are those bathrooms back up? By the way, in the Pinellas County Park, do we know if the bathrooms are back up?
I don't know.
I sprung that on you. I don't go to that park, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's still not 100% back to where it was because they've got a seawall that they're dealing with as well. So they've got two areas of it. I mean, we could go around the whole, all up and down. I mean, I just heard, this is really south of us, but Lido Key is just finally getting renourished. Lido Key got hit hard.
Yeah.
And they're finally getting renourished to there where they need to be too. So it's, but yeah, I mean, other than that, we're starting to go into the hot of the winter or the hot of the summer. And,
so things both times. Yeah. In Florida. So exactly. Village Friday, guys, but the workshop meeting is tomorrow, actually right before our regularly scheduled Board of Commissioners. And of course, friendly reminder, City of Madeira or MadeiraBeachFL.gov. Okay. You can't go in person to City Hall. You can tune in and at least listen to what the people are saying. Now you aren't able to chime in, Gary, and just yell into the Zoom screen. But if you want to have public comment, you have to go in person. But this is all right here on the events page for the City of Madeira Beach. So that is actually going to be tomorrow. But then we have Village Friday on Friday, the 29th from 6 to 9 in Johns Pass. And then the following weekend, Trash Pirates, our lovely ladies. Shout out to Candy and Audrey. Saw Candy this weekend. I told her to tell Audrey hi. Apparently there was multiple 50th birthday parties that everyone else was busy at while I was drinking in a pool. So
good.
Yeah, I know. Happy birthday to everyone.
Yes.
So Trash Pirates monthly cleanup, that's going to be on June 6th. And I believe that they're still doing the bell tower.
Yep. I think, it's always in John's Pass. It just moves around a little bit. It moves around a little bit as far as where they are on the north end. I'm not sure.
I heard that the Caddy's Bar opened up early for the trash pickup, and they were disappointed we weren't there for Bloodies. So we might have to make a note.
I can do that. I can definitely do that.
But good listeners, you're going to have to pace yourself on the 6th, just like we're going to, because if we're going to the Trash Pirate pickup, we might have to take a nap because that night is actually the Madeira Beach Night Market.
Yes.
And that's going to go from 5 to 11, actually, at night. That's going to be at ROC Park here in Madeira Beach. And shout out to you girls, because we are a proud sponsor.
Yes, we is.
Yes, we are. We don't have the energy nor the time to do a booth, but thank you, Barry and Jill over at the Pinellas Chamber,
Yes.
Beaches Chamber. They are always good friends of ours, and we try to participate in anything they want to play.
We sure do. We sure do.
Yeah. Although Stephanie and I talked about in the pre-recording that lovely table that your oldest son made us for Mother's Day.
I know. That's only just, yeah, I know.
I really do want to break that out. And I thought, you know what? What if we just bust it out and like play beer pong for an hour?
We might need to. I think
the Veterans Boat Parade, I think the Trash Pirates, I think the Chamber, and I think the city would allow us to do so in their vendor booth.
I think so too. I think so too. Exactly.
We could take bids. We'll start taking bids. Who wants us to bring the beer pong table to your tent?
That's right.
That's a good idea, actually. All right, guys, that's about all that we have for you this week. Of course, if there's any topics or conversations or feedback, since we got a little personal with some of our opinions today, we would love to hear it, actually. Yep. And so please feel free to reach out to us. You can always listen to full episodes on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple.
Hmm?
I don't know what you call your store, your Apple store. Apple Podcasts. There you go.
That's right.
And then, of course, we are on the socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and TikTok.
Yep, that's it.
We don't even call Twitter anymore.
No, yeah.
So we're going to go think about what decade we're actually living in. But as always, guys, thank you so much. And Stephanie, tell the people what they can go do.
Oh, salties, thank you for joining. Like and subscribe, and stay salty and sip often. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.